I have an example with some customers, what you mentioned, what's happening in other parts of the store, marketing, signage, analysis of visibility. Is anybody even looking at it? We're printing it. Why are we printing it? We're printing it in thousands and thousands and thousands of locations. What is our return on investment for what is being printed? Well, I don't like to say it, but if you sample the analysis, and in your samples, it's not a high visibility part of the store and the impression rate is not very high, then you should question the expenditure. And that is actually what we've been bringing to the customers. So they have the system installed, it's doing a specific thing. They're like, look, can we expand it to this camera over here? Yeah, of course, no problem. What do you want to know? Configure it up, and just like we're doing a detailed analysis of how they interact with the self-checkout machine, we can do an analysis of how they're interacting with signage. Right to the point, are they gazing at it? Are they looking at it? Are they stopping? Are they interacting? The orientation of their body. And then before they know it, they've got hard data that tells them every dollar of this I print, what is the conversion that I'm getting? Sometimes it's a scary number.
Yeah. Reality can be scary.
Sometimes it's a scary number, and of course, if they react to that data, then they're getting a return on their investment because they stop doing something that doesn't work and they do something that does work.
Modified business plan behavior.
Funny enough, I remember a C2RO case. I'm not gonna mention names, so don't worry about it. But it was a case of basically people coming into a store and being engaged by an assistant and kind of seeing like a piece of marketing and then having an assistant talk to them if that was the case. And at the initial point from the marketing perspective was, how often is this being done correctly, right? How often is somebody kind of walking in, like the thing is positioned in the right place and then coming through? And I think I was talking with Franco, and Franco said that the number came back like 93%. And then they're like, wow, this is much higher than we expect. It's like, no. 92% of the time, like nothing is happening, nothing's correct.
They're walking straight through.
It's like straight, like there's a 7% chance that like this is actually happening correctly. Here are the breakdowns. And I remember he told me like it was a pretty quiet talk, Yeah, you say that information and people really have to be like, okay. But sometimes it's better because sometimes it's better to understand.
Well, the data better be right.
Yeah, no, and actually,
the data better be right.
Franco told me that you guys reran that whole thing one more time and you gave them the exactly same thing, and you could show in the video, like you could pull on the video and say like, see, like there is no engagement here.
Not the video, but we do the stick man.
Yeah, exactly.
We do an AI replay where you actually see the metadata replayed. You don't see a person, but you see
exactly
the stick figures interacting and moving around, and you can actually see, every time somebody, who walks in, when the interactions are happening on. So yeah, we have visual aids as well that are used by our teams to audit the data. But most importantly, sometimes it's very powerful to show to a customer.
Here's what it looks like.
Here's what's happening.
Bring up the replay, just like in soccer, right? Like, can I see the replay?
Yeah, we call it an AI replay, an AI playback. Cool, for sure.
Imagine being the poor ad guy that is thinking, finally being validated, like I knew my ad was a good one. If you only put it in the right places, of course we're gonna be making business.
Yeah, millions.
No, well, this comes back to that operational efficiency. Think about this customer. They invested an enormous amount of HR and funds to train their regional managers on the protocols, right? So every time somebody walks in, here's the experience we want them to have. And they did that nationwide. So of course, after they spent all that money, they expect the customer experience to improve. They expect the sales to benefit. So when you see that there's only a 7%, that wasn't the number from what I remember, but regardless, if you see a small number, then you have to ask yourself, where did we go wrong, right? And so instead of repeating that, you can at least go back and fix it. So this is why data in the physical retail world is important. Online, in 2 seconds, you can see the behavior and why things are not working. But in real life, you need data.